Well, hello there. How are you today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name's Campbell, and this is Autodidactic 2, and it's yet again time to take a stroll through the strange realm we find ourselves in.
The conspiracy theorists were right again. Have you guys seen what's going on in Oxford right now in the UK? They just set up their little 15-minute city and they are now charging people for leaving the city. You get 100 free days. They call it a free day. You get a free pass to leave the 15-minute city. And if you exceed your 100 free days, you have to pay the US dollar equivalent of $93 per day. And if you live outside of the 15-minute city and you want to travel into the 15-minute city, you get 25 free passes, free move. Oh, the government's giving you free movement capability. You get 25 free passes. And if you exceed those 25 days, it's $93 a day. And how are they tracking all this? Oh, there's not a man at the gate. They're not writing up tickets or having police officers set up. Oh no, they are monitoring you with digital AI surveillance and cameras. And then they're automatically finding you. This is why we have to be against the flock cameras in the United States. They're not just speed trap cameras. This is why we have to be against the Palantir whole of government database. This is why we have to stand up and raise awareness and bring attention to these matters instead of arguing with each other and NPCs on the internet over left versus right issues or my side, your side. They are keeping us artificially divided because they're setting up this infrastructure in the United States right now. Divide and conquer. We are in the division part of the divide and conquer agenda. Conquer is next. You think it's bad now? Wait till you have to pay $100 a day to leave your 15 minutes. Conspiracy theorists.
Wow, does anyone live in or near Oxford? Is it a 15-minute city? Is this true? Let me know in the comments. I think we'd all like to know, what's going on because, I didn't think it was this far ahead in the UK, but obviously what I've seen and heard, it's all through the 2D world though. What I've heard is that it's looking pretty bad, right? It looks like they've got a few issues. Good to see the people standing up though. But 15-minute cities, right? They've been telling about us about this, that they're bringing them in. This is what they want. They're definitely in Australia. They're pushing it. They've basically, it's the same as in America, right? Where all the fires happen and all these catastrophes that, they just happen to be the place that they want to rebuild into a 15-minute city. And same in Australia. They've definitely done that in Australia. Lismore's a good example. In New South Wales, they've destroyed that, and that's on the agenda to be a 15-minute city. So is this happening? Let me know. But also, what do you think? What are you going to do? This is their agenda they're pushing out. But, I always say that, we are the creators here, right? They only push this stuff out so that if we believe it and we start focusing on it, then it happens, right? It comes into reality. So, always be aware but not scared, right? Don't buy into the fear of, oh my God, they're winning, they're doing this, we're all slaves, because that's not true. I think, here's a thought. Are they good, the elites, as far as they're pushing people to, I don't like the term awake, but to be more aware of what's going on? And when we're more aware, then we can make changes, right? You can't fix a problem that you don't know exists. So is that what this is all about? That we need to get back to nature. We need to get back on the land and form proper communities. And one of the ways to do that is to tell us they're going to force us all into 15-minute cities, right? So we rebel and do the opposite. Is that what's going on here? Let me know your thoughts.
I can't say that I'm surprised, but the creator of The Simpsons is in the Epstein files. So this whole time that we thought it was just some innocent time traveler predicting things in his show and them coming true, in reality, it was all of the billionaires in power and the elite that are telling us what they're doing through The Simpsons so that they can avoid the karmic law. If they tell us what they're doing and we still let it happen anyway, they don't accumulate karma, or so it's said. But the truth is starting to come out, and this is just the beginning. But no wonder people like me, conspiracy theorists, whatever you want to call them, sound crazy, because the truth literally is crazy. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't.
Ah, Matt Groening, hey, is on the list. There you go. The Simpsons, and of course, this is The Simpsons. The prediction level there, better than Nostradamus, right? Better than Edgar Casey. Like so many things have come out, and there's all these theories. Well, what's going on here? Is Matt Groening a time traveler? I've always thought basically that it's because this is a scripted reality, right? This is all scripted. They know what they're doing, and they tell us decades before things happen, right? They put it in writing and they tell us. And I think that's what The Simpsons were doing. It was just playing the script, right? Just, before that part of the script came into reality. And that's how they were predicting all this stuff is because, they weren't predicting it. They were just saying what is part of the plan, what's coming up. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts. Do you think there's time travel in there somehow, or do you think that they're just basically giving us the script, like she said, another way to put out what they're doing, because they believe it avoids karma for them. Now, I don't know if I believe that. I've got no evidence that that's what they're doing, but a lot of people think it, right? It's a thought. It could be true. But what do you think? Why do you think they tell us all this stuff? Is it just because they're arrogant? They want to laugh when we don't see it? Or is it because they're trying to escape some kind of an energetic karma? Let me know your thoughts.
Did you guys hear about the memo the United States Postal Service just put out? Which has many people wondering, although Twitter says that it is routine, but many people are concerned. Do they know something is coming? Listen to this. United States Postal Service sends alarming letter out to certain employees or maybe just officers, contractors. This signals an impending crisis of civil unrest or an epidemic. I don't think epidemic, but if you read the first sentence, it says, during large-scale emergencies, epidemics, hurricanes, or civil unrest, sales, states and localities may issue curfew orders or other directives. It goes on to say that this will restrict travel, so you need to carry your documents on you that prove you are an essential worker, essential service. Now, of course, this literally could be routine, like hurricanes do happen, like epidemics happen, civil unrest definitely happens. I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the ICE thing going on. But here's the crazy part. The community notes on Twitter says that this is completely routine and this happens all the time. But many, many people work at USPS and say, well, I've never really seen a letter like this since Schmovid Schmeinteen. And we also have Tim Walz saying that we should do something about ICE, which is insane. Not saying I agree or disagree, but to have a member of the government telling people to do something against other entities within the government is very strange. So is the stage set? Is it a powder keg waiting to go? So then it says, employees and contractors should carry essential services letters with them as they perform duties for the Postal Service and travel to and from work. So it's not just when they're in the USPS truck. Everyone knows that guy is an essential service. But if you're in a car driving to your USPS station to meet the postmaster, you got to have your papers on you to show, no, I'm allowed to be driving if there's a curfew or a lockdown. So this is freaking shocking, man. All I know is there's a lot of things happening at the same time right now. And I do think we are in pretty much prophesized times. Like this was said to happen. What's happening all around the world. Look around. Do you think that the world is under the control of forces of good right now or forces of evil? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Forces of chaos, more like it, right? Um, yeah, I mean, same story, right? Like they're putting all this stuff out, one, to tell us what they're planning to do, and two, because when they put it out, when we focus on it, we create it, right? But yeah, I mean, has anyone received any of these notices from USPS? And obviously it's all got to do with digital IDs, right? You've got to carry your license, your ID on you and all this to prove that you're, not a criminal. Basically, you're guilty until proven innocent. Remember when it used to be the opposite of that? Yeah, right. So do I. Back in the olden days. But I sort of see this stuff as all the same. And definitely don't be scared, guys. Don't buy into fear. Fear is just false evidence appearing real, right? Be aware, not scared. And, I still totally think that this is a show. This is a show created just for us, just for you, right? Your own personal show. It's all around you in high definition, 3D. And the more we pay attention to what they tell us and what they want to create, well, the more we create it, right, in our own reality. So, I definitely don't get emotionally, triggered or anything when I see any of this stuff. It's just whatever. It's just information, right? I never judge things as good or bad, right? Because in the end, I don't know. Many good things turn out to be bad, and many bad things turn out to be good, right? So in the end, I think we are the power, right? We are the power, and it's not the information that's coming to us that matters. It's what we do with it that matters. And matter is an interesting word, right? Matter. The physical world is made up of matter. So what we focus on matters. And just a heads up, guys, this next video, there could be a bit of Australian in it. So if you were offended by F-bombs and things like that, maybe just fast forward.
Hey y'all, so I've just been listening to The Art of War by Stephen Pressfield, I think. And when I say just been listening to, I've listened to probably fucking 12 minutes of it, okay? So I will listen to the rest, but it's already put a fire up my ass. Like 100%. I feel this like weird motivation. And it's good because I fucking need it. I have been a lazy little bitch. Let's be so fucking for real right now. I'm just fucking around. I'm just having fun and just not having any discipline or doing any of the shit that I should be doing, okay? And he said something in there. I'm going to butcher the fuck out of this, by the way. This is not, like, we're not saying quotes. This is the message that I took from it. That right before you achieve your goal is when resistance is its harshest, like it's most impactful, like where you're going to succumb to vices or just procrastinate and like just fucking hang up your gloves sort of thing. And holy fuck, I do that. I do that so badly. Like, oh, fuck me. I get like 99% of the way there. And then I go, that'll fucking do. Hey, that'll do. That's heaps. Fuck it. Yeah, just tricking. Didn't want it anyway. And I will fuck it up every time. I'll self-sabotage, 100%. So I need to fucking stop doing that, is what I've just learned. So I'm going to start making videos one a day. There's so much shit going on in Australia, and my recurrent excuse to myself for not making videos is, oh, what's the fucking point? It's just going to get deleted. Maybe because you're a fucking psycho and you can't go more than 3 words without saying fuck. Like, I'm going to try swear less and be less aggressive so it's like more palatable for this fucking, I don't know, culture that we've created for ourselves. I'm not going to say any of your gammon little words, okay? Like you're unalive and all that bull fucking shit, because you're diluting the seriousness. Like, words are so fucking powerful, and they are the word for that reason. So it has that impact in your fucking brain, okay? So stop using all those bullshit phrases. It fucking pisses me off. We are getting off track. Anyway, I'm going to start making videos, okay? Like political videos, my normal content, but like less crazy, hopefully. Wish me luck. Okay, see ya.
All right, everyone, wish her luck. How do you think she'll go? She's entertaining, if nothing else, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, she made 2 good points there, right? One is self-sabotage. Are you trying to manifest something, and when you start to get close, you talk yourself out of it, or you let others talk yourself out of it, right? Because this is the thing, you've got to stay in the game until you finish, go across the finish line, right? Or else you don't finish, you don't get the prize, clearly. So, that's one thing, whatever it is you want to do, just keep believing it, right? Don't listen to anyone else. And, if you've got one of those negative voices in your head, don't listen to it either. Retrain it, right? Retrain it. Meditation's really good for that, by the way. And the second one was words, spells, and she's right. I've done it too, right? I've definitely changed the way I speak because of all the censorship that's gone on, right? And all the, channels getting taken down and videos and people getting blocked and all this stuff. And, I definitely have self-censored. I kind of figured, I'll self-censor and still try and get the message out, right? That's better than nothing. But she's right? We're changing the spells, right? We're not being ourselves, and we're doing it because they tell us. They, the allies, right? These people who don't like us and are trying to control us. So that's them controlling us more. So there you go. No more unalived, right? We've got to start saying things like the truth died, right? He's mentioned that COVID word again, all this kind of stuff. Let's see if this video stays up, right? But yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you self-censor, and do you think it's time to stop? We've got to take the power back, and clearly this is a good place to start, right, with the spells that we're casting. And guys, thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please do give it a like, share it around, hype it up if you can, and of course, make sure you're subscribed.
I've been doing a little more research, so I got another banger for you. I maybe got a little ahead of myself with that alchemy video. I'm a little closer to the truth. In 1317, Pope John the 22nd issued a decree banning something very specific: the creation of gold through alchemical processes. The penalty? Excommunication and prison. So I asked myself, why would the most powerful institution in medieval Europe ban something that doesn't work? Unless it did work. Let me show you something that's been hiding in plain sight for 700 years. I started digging through old alchemical texts. Not the mystical nonsense you see in movies, but the actual laboratory notebooks of people like Geber, Paracelsus, and Roger Bacon. And I found something consistent across all of them, a process they called the 14 gradations. Here's what they wrote, and I'll translate for you because it was written in Latin. Take mercury of the purest kind, add to it the philosophical salt derived from the first matter. Add the red sulfur, purified 7 times, and a seed of the perfect metal as a ferment. Place this in a vessel of the philosophers and heat gently in a bed of sand for 14 days and 14 nights without cessation. First matter, that's urine. They were being poetic, but every alchemist knew this. 14 days of constant gentle heat in a sand bath. Every single serious alchemical text mentions this. So what were they actually doing? Fast forward to 1962, a French scientist named Louis Kervran published research that gets him immediately ridiculed by the physics community. He proves that chickens eating mica, which contains silicon, were producing calcium carbonate eggshells. Not just using calcium from food, creating calcium that wasn't there before. Silicon has 14 protons, calcium has 20. Somehow, living chickens were adding 6 protons to silicon's atoms. According to physics, this is impossible. You need millions of electron volts and a particle accelerator to change elements. But chickens were doing it while eating corn. Kervran documented 40 examples of this. He called it biological transmutation. And after decades of being mocked, Japanese researchers replicated his experiments in 2013. It's real. The secret? A molecule called NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Every cell in your body has billions of NAD molecules right now. They're electron shuttles. They grab electrons from one molecule and deliver it to others. Your entire metabolism runs on NAD. And here's the key! NAD can break chemical bonds and reform them. It's nature's way of rearranging atoms. Now would you guess what's in concentrated urine? Uric acid, which is a precursor to NAD. Urea, which breaks down into compounds that support NAD synthesis. The medieval alchemists were concentrating biological electron transfer molecules without knowing that the molecules even existed. They just knew that urine salts plus mercury plus heat equals transformation. So here's what actually happens in those 14 days. Translated into modern chemistry. You start with liquid mercury, element 80 on the periodic table. You add purified sulfur and concentrated NAD from urine salts. You add a tiny piece of gold as a seed, and we'll get to why. You bury this in a mixture of hot sand, and you keep it at about 300 degrees Fahrenheit and maintain that temperature day and night for 2 weeks. Day 1, the mixture turns black. The mercury and the sulfur are making mercury sulfide. The heat is activating the NAD molecules. Day 3 to 4, it turns white. The NAD is cycling, switching between NAD plus and NADH, capturing electrons and releasing them. This exact process is happening in your mitochondria right now to make energy. Day 5 to 7, a yellow color appears. At the molecular level, lighter transmutation is happening. The texts call this the yellowing stage. They're seeing the beginnings of the gold characteristics. Day 8 to 10, a deep red color. More complex atomic restructuring. But here's where it gets wild, because it's documented in text after text after text. Around day 10, 11, or 12, something changes. Multiple alchemists wrote about how the mixture suddenly brightening, or the stone revealing itself, or the work completed rapidly. What they were describing is what modern physics would call autocatalytic cascade. See that gold seed you added? Gold atoms vibrate at a specific electromagnetic frequency. As the mercury atoms absorb electrons from the NAD and thermal energy from the heat, some of them start to resonate at the same frequency. One mercury atom restructures to match the gold template, then 2, then 4, then 8. It's exponential. Each new gold atom becomes another template, and the process accelerates. And after 10 days of preparation, that concentration hits a critical threshold, and cascade happens. Not instantly, but over a few hours. You can actually watch the colors brighten and shift as the concentration of gold increases. This is what is meant by before their eyes. Not magic. Autocatalytic nuclear cascade, triggered by biological electron transfer over time. In 1924, two physicists working independently, Adolf Meithe in Germany and Hataro Nagoka in Japan, both announced that they had transmuted mercury into gold using high voltage electrical discharge. The scientific community destroyed them, called it contamination, fraud, delusion, but neither man backed down. Both published their detailed procedures, and both stood by their results until the day they died. And then in 2025, Marathon Fusion Corporation successfully transmuted mercury 198 into gold 197 using neutron bombardment from fusion reactions. They confirmed what alchemists knew. Mercury to gold is easier than lead to gold because mercury is only one proton away from gold. The pathway exists, the question is just energy and method. High energy, short time. Modern physics, particle accelerators. Low energy with long time and biological catalyst, that's alchemy. Same destination, different path. So were medieval alchemists actually making gold? Some of them probably, yeah. Most failed because they didn't understand the variables, temperature control, purity of material, the critical role of the biological catalyst. But the ones who succeeded, they were doing low-energy nuclear transmutation, mediated by biological electron transfer molecules. They weren't wizards, they were biochemists 400 years before biochemistry existed. The really crazy part? Your body is doing this right now. Bacteria in your gut are creating elements. Your cells are rearranging atoms with the NAD molecules. Life has been doing alchemy since the beginning. We just forgot how it works. If this blew your mind, like, comment, share, and as always, follow for more mind-bending content.
Wow, alchemy. There was a lot in that video. Yeah, turning mercury into gold. Like we're told it's lead, right? Uh, Interesting, basically all those experiments are disproving what modern physics teach, right? That you can't create something from nothing. But it's not from nothing, right? It's from energy, it's from frequency, it's from vibration, it's from knowing the interaction of these things that they were doing it. Why they wanted to keep creating gold, I'm not so sure. Were they eating gold? I mean, gold's supposed to be good for you, monoatomic gold. Are they making, gold cutlery to eat off, or are they just hoarding wealth, right? I still haven't figured out why gold is hoarded so much, by the elites, right? They spend all these billions and trillions of dollars, mining and digging up gold and turning it into gold bars, and then they just store it in warehouses and underground and they never seem to use it anyway. What do you think they're using it for? Because it's clearly got to have some use, right, for them. Obviously, it's banking, is a big part of it, but why gold? Why is it, the valuable one? What do you think? Is it because it has good properties? Is that why, all the jewelry, right? It's gold, all the best jewelry from the old world. Because jewelry, an interesting word, right? Jewelry. Um, they're wearing it for a reason, right? For its frequency and its vibration. It would be healing. So is that what they're doing? Are they wearing it? Are they ingesting it? I don't know, but very interesting that he's basically, if that's all true, he's just proved that alchemy is true. And this is another thing that they always try and tell us it's just a fairy tale. No, you can't change elements. But I mean, look at Mercury. Mercury is the only metal that amalgamates, right? It literally eats other metals and amalgamates with them, right? Joins with them. And is this why they've outlawed mercury, right? It used to be in schools in the 60s, kids would play with it. And now everyone thinks it's going to poison them and give them, basically brain rot, right? So it's interesting. We're not allowed to have the gold, we're not allowed to have the mercury. What's going on there, do you think?
Here's what they don't tell you. Lead is a natural Faraday cage. For centuries, the thick lead paint on your home's walls blocked microwaves, radio waves, and all invisible frequencies. Your home was private, shielded, and truly off-grid. The global ban on lead paint didn't align with health data. It aligned perfectly with the tech boom. The moment they wanted radio, radar, and cellular signals everywhere, they declared your protective shield toxic. Declassified CIA documents from the 1960s show they tested lead barriers and complained about signal loss. Immediately after, the lead poisoning narrative was pushed to the public. Since the ban, insomnia, anxiety, and brain fog have skyrocketed, directly matching the explosion of wireless EMF pollution filling your now unshielded home. The elite know this. They still use LED shielding in their private bunkers and homes. They kept their protection and stripped yours away to make every wall in your house transparent to their signals. The lesson is clear. They didn't ban lead to save you. They banned it to expose you. Your privacy wasn't sacrificed for health. It was traded for total connectivity and control. Comment Faraday if you're ready to shield yourself again. Like if you see through the public health lies. Share this before they ban the next thing that protects you.
Well, there we have the lead. And that shows us some of the qualities of lead. And it's true, I'm sure a lot of you have heard that before, right? Lead is a shield. It acts like a Faraday cage. It blocks out all the signals, all these 5G, right? All this Wi-Fi, all this kind of stuff. Of course, it means in those houses, you can't have all your Wi-Fi and all this stuff. It won't work. But that's a good thing, right? And is that what the Elites are doing? Because I always wonder, they do all this stuff, right? They spread all these frequencies, things that are harmful, right? But why would they do that if it's going to harm them? Well, maybe this is the answer. Maybe they've got lead paint on where they live so they don't have these frequencies in their houses. Maybe they wear lead lined clothes, who knows, right? To block out these frequencies. But it's interesting because you can't, it's illegal to have lead paint these days, but it would be nice to find some, right? And paint your house with it. I'm not sure how they make it, but there we have three minerals, right? Or three metals that basically, definitely lead and mercury have been outlawed as poisonous and dangerous. You can't get them, it's illegal to have them. And then gold. They don't want us having gold. They're hoarding it all, and there's all this stuff coming in, about them wanting to collect all the gold, all the elites and that, right? Making it basically illegal to have because they want it. So, there's obviously something very special and very useful with these three metals. Let me know your thoughts. And do you have a lead painted house? Are there any left? Let me know because if you've got one, doing well.
Did you guys see the latest video of Putin where he addresses citizens of Western countries? He has a chilling statement to share with us, and I honestly wonder where this is going and what the end result of this could be. So check this out.
Хочу, чтобы меня услышали и простые граждане западных государств. Вас сейчас настойчиво пытаются убедить в том, что все ваши трудности – это результат каких-то враждебных действий России. Что из вашего собственного кошелька надо оплатить борьбу с мифической русской угрозой. Все это ложь. А правда в том, что текущие проблемы, с которыми сталкиваются миллионы людей на Западе, стали результатом многолетних действий правящих элит их государств. Их ошибок, близорукости и амбиций. Эти элиты думают не о том, как улучшить жизнь своих граждан в западных странах. Они одержимы своими корыстными интересами и сверхприбыли.
Okay, so hold on a second. Like, is he wrong? I know that there's a certain group of people who would go, that's just what they want you to, that's what Russia would say. I mean, you think they're going to admit to being a threat? But I don't really think, like, am I being affected by Russia right now? Not really. Are we being affected by our own institutions here? Yeah. So is he wrong? I don't know. I mean, it seems like not. The other thing about Putin, I can't put my finger on it. The guy bans GMOs? What the Sam Dams with that? Like, that's kind of counter to what they're doing over here. Like, they want us GMO'd out the yin yang over here. But over there, they want them banned. They have completely banned them. So, what's going on, man? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
What's going on indeed? And is that even the real Putin? Putin's one of those guys, you look at the photos of him, in the past 10, 20 years ago, and he looks like a different person, right? Just like Joe Biden, just like so many people, right? Even Trump, like so many of these leaders, not that they are leaders, I guess. They lead us down the garden path, right? But what do you think? Um, is he doing something good? Is he actually trying to wake us up, or is it part of the agenda? Because, when it comes down to it, it's what we believe, right? And I think it's probably a bit of a problem whenever you see good news like that, but you believe, well, it's got to be a scam. It's got to be a scam. And yes, I know that I say very often that everything that they push on us and that they tell us is here to help us and improve us always ends up biting us in the ass. And I still believe that, but he's not offering anything, is he? He's just, he's not saying, believe this and then, you know, come and get my Wi-Fi or anything like that, right? He's just saying something. So, we should take that into consideration. Are there good entities in the ruling elite? We're in the apocalypse, which means the unveiling. So we're starting to see everything that's going on, but there just seems to be a force out there, doesn't there? That is good because the allies are having a very hard time at the moment. Like they can't get anything right. Everything they try and push is getting smashed, right? They're trying to push a new germ, right? That's going around infecting people from India and no one's buying it. They tried it with monkeypox, remember? No one was buying it. So that they can't get anything done. And I don't know, I just have this feeling that there's good people out there, right? There's good forces embedded in these control systems. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think's going on with Putin? Is it just an act, or is he telling us the truth? Well, he's definitely seems to be telling us the truth, right? But why? Is it because he's a good guy and that's what he believes? Because I've heard a lot about Russia, and they seem to be doing a lot better than most Western countries.
Here's how the system works. Everything you could ever ask for, you could ever have now, or ever ask for in the future, you already have right now. You simply are not experiencing it. Because everything that has ever happened is happening now, and ever will happen is happening right now. And so, it is for you merely to reach into the sea of infinite possibilities and call forth the reality you choose now to experience. And you do this through three devices mainly: thought, word, and action. That is, what you say, what you think or believe, and of course what you do.
What you say, what you think, and what you do. I would agree with that. And, this is the thing. It's not necessarily what's happening or what we perceive is happening. It's what we believe, right? It's what we believe is happening that we actually create. Two people can see one event and one can see it as negative and one can see it as positive. And of course, that event is going to affect them and their futures in different ways, which is what I was talking about with Putin, right? If we see everything as bad, well, what are we creating for ourselves going into the future, right? You can't create good from bad, right? You create good from good because it's a frequency of vibration. And then speaking, right? Going back to the Aussie girl. I think her channel is Too Much Sugar on Her Cereal. Good name, right? But yeah, the spelling, right? How we've all changed the words that we use, the unaliving and the Jabberwocky, all these different terms that we've come up with to avoid the censorship. But that's changing our spell, it's changing what we're saying, right? What we're speaking into existence. So I definitely agree. It's how we see the world, right? What we think, it's what we speak, what we speak into action, and then it's what we do. Then this is the main one that people, I think, miss a lot. It's your actions. Once you've decided what you want, you speak it into reality, and that, look, you don't have to tell anyone else. It's just you can be in your bathroom in front of a mirror, right? And then you've got to take action on it, though, as if it's already happened, right? As if it's already happened, and act like you've got everything that you want, because time doesn't exist. Like he said, it's all here now. We've just got to hit the frequency, the correct frequency to align with what we want. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and how's your manifesting going? Have you had success? Let us know in the comments.
I'm going to show you. So you clap your hands 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then use your right hand to cup the elbow, this part, 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And do the right arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then use your right hand to cup the armpit of your left arm 9 times by putting your hand behind your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And do the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then repeat 8 more times. Total together 9 times. Make sure you cup, right? You don't use a flat palm to hit that hook. When you cup, you use the vibration to go deeper into the tissues. Use the vibration to help to open up the channels. In our hands, we have 4 energy channels, meridians, connecting directly to the heart. They're all in the hands. That's why clapping the hands, clapping these areas, it can help to enhance the circulation of the heart. If you don't have any heart problems,
Well, there you go, cupping. Have you tried cupping? What are your results? Let us know. But yeah, there you go. There's a simple little way to remove blockages, right? Energy blockages. And when he was doing that, for some reason, I just had a thought. Have you ever seen those people, and they normally do it with like herbs or trees, right? And they sort of flick it over their back like this. Same kind of concept, right? And then I was thinking of like flagellation, it's called, where basically, I think it was mainly Christians would whip themselves, right? They'd be like trying to hurt themselves. And, is this the same thing? Is that it's been something that's good and healing and getting rid of the stuff we don't want, getting, better frequencies in, that's been turned into, self-flagellation, right? Hurting yourself because we're all sinners. I don't know, just a random thought that came to me while I was watching that. But yeah, are you going to try it? I think I'm going to give that one a try. It's nice and easy. 9 nines as well, right? 81, which is 9. 9 being the God number is what I call it because it always equals itself, right? If you times 9 by anything, it always equals 9, right? Like 9 times 6, right, is what's that? 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. So it always equals itself, which is interesting. And 9 times, that was, I picked that up too, that was interesting that it was a 9. But it makes sense, right? We've got all of our veins going through our elbows, obviously our armpits. There's lots of glands and stuff in there as well. So, probably worth a go. Let me know, are you going to try it? And come back and let us know the results. All right, well, there we go, guys. That's another one done and dusted. Another romp through the strange realm we find ourselves in. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for spending some time with me. Please give me a like if you haven't already. Make sure you leave me your comments and share this around. Let's get this information out to people, right? that, don't buy into the fear, be aware and not scared. Like it's all a movie, and it basically we are the director, right? So we get to choose which direction it goes in, depending on how we see it, speak it, and act upon it, right? And yes, please, if you have the ability to hype, still not sure what that is. I've never seen it on any of my videos, but you keep telling me in the comments that you're hyping it. So thank you to everyone who has hyped it. And thank you to everyone, who does like my videos, who comments on them. It definitely helps with, the algorithm. And I just appreciate it as well. And I love having, seeing the chat, everyone's interacting. It's really good. This is how we spread awareness. This is how we get more wise. This is being autodidactic, right? Self-educated. We're all a piece of the puzzle. We're all here to help each other. So thank you. And stay awesome because you are. And I'll talk to you all on the next upload. And here come the doggies.